Hey, One World Entertainment, and this will be the non-spoiler review for Joker Folie A Deux. I will do a spoiler review, but I'll wait until Monday to put that out, to give people, whoever wants to see this movie, give them a chance to see it, so it doesn't get spoiled, even though you've probably already seen spoilers and heard people spoiling it, but this will be a non-spoiler review. Again, just to give you a chance to see it, if you want to see it. Just before we jump into it though, if you don't mind, hit the sub button, the like button, the share button, make a comment in the comment section, all that good stuff. You know the drill by now. You know the channel is growing. Let's keep it growing. Let's get to that 2,000. Let's see if we can hit it. Anyway, let's jump into this. Now, first off, you're going to hear a lot of people saying that it's garbage and it ruins the first movie and all that type of stuff. Is it garbage? Does it ruin the first movie and stuff? I don't think it's as bad as some people are making it out to be, but not because of the story or anything. I think it's actually the performances that kind of keep you engaged. You know, there's no doubt that Joaquin Phoenix is still fantastic in the role of Arthur/Joker. Lady Gaga, she does fine actually in it. You know, she's not terrible, but she's not fantastic either. Most of her scenes are her really kind of singing. Brendan Gleeson is great in it as this guard. What was his name? Jackie. They call him, his name is Jackie. The Harvey Dent character, yes, Harvey Dent is in it. He's not great. I'm not sure what the actor's called, but his role as Harvey Dent, I think they did it backwards. And what I mean by that is, in the court scenes, he's meant to be the prosecutor, but he's acting more like he's the defendant's counsel. You know, where he's that very kind of arrogant and stuff. And you would think the prosecutor would be played more sympathetic and kind of more friendly and stuff. And he's not really played that way. He's played a bit like an asshole, to be honest with you. So he wasn't great. There's not a hell of a lot of him, and he doesn't do much, you know. The Puddles is back, Gary Puddles, who of course was the dwarf in the first one. His scene is probably one of the best scenes in the movie, in the courtroom. In terms of the overall story, now the musical part, we'll get to that straight away because people will want to know. It's to say it's a musical, I don't think would be accurate, because a musical is normally where the song kind of enhances the scene and moves the movie forward, where this does not do that. In fact, when the songs start, it stops the movie, even though there are a few songs where they're obviously trying to push the narrative forward, but it actually doesn't work. It stops the whole movie dead. And it's weird the way they do it, because a lot of it is that kind of talky singy. You've probably seen a few people reference this, and when you see it, it's bang on. It's like Elf, when Elf starts singing to his dad. You know, when he thinks he's the Christmas Gram, and he's like, I'm singing, and I love you. That thing. They're kind of doing that until they're not. When they're not doing it, it seems to be kind of the fantasy sequences where they're talking, singing is kind of where it's actually happening. Sort of. There's a few scenes where it's not actually happening, but you'll see what I mean if you see the movie. Does it ruin the first movie? I don't think it ruins it in the way people think, where they're saying, oh, it'll ruin your experience watching the first movie again and stuff like that. I understand what they mean though, where when you were watching the original movie, you're thinking like, was this all just in his head, or was it actually happening? Because the end, of course, yeah, spoiler suppose if you haven't seen the first film, but when he is in the room with his therapist, and when he walks out and there's the blood stain footprints until there isn't, and that's where people are really kind of going, wait, was this actually all in his head? Did he actually become Joker? Did he actually do all these things, or was it all in his head? Well, they do unfortunately answer all of that, and no, it wasn't in his head. That's not a spoiler because you know that's the case because he's in court. The courtroom stuff, it's not done terribly, but it's not great either. As I said, the most interesting part of that whole sequence, it's kind of broken up into parts here and there, is the part with Puddles. And Joker becomes Joker. He fires his counsel, and for some reason the court allow him not just to represent himself, but to wear whatever he wants, as long as he doesn't turn it into a fiasco. So that's where he can put on the Joker face paint. In terms of him actually being Joker, like in the makeup and stuff, very, very little. Like literally. And that is my biggest complaint about this movie. Not just do the songs, well, we'll swing back to that, but it's the fact that by the end of the first movie, the fact that they do a sequel, they should never have done a sequel. That should be flat out said now. It's not a worthy sequel and it should never have been made. But the fact that he ended the first movie on top of the cop car, everyone chanting, him pulling the blood up for the smile, painting on his face and stuff, he should have been full Joker. He should have embraced Joker. And he doesn't. We're reverted right back to him being Arthur. And being Arthur for almost the entirety of the movie again. Which was really frustrating. The only times he was really Joker was in the singing fantasy moments. And you could tell which was the fantasies and which isn't, because his hair is green in the fantasies, and when he's in the real world and he's actually painted up, his hair isn't green. So you can get that getaway. The majority of it is in Arkham, and that stuff was kind of boring. You know, it drags a little bit, and then they kind of skip over parts of the courtroom. Harley Quinn, who she's only referred to as Harley twice. She's only referred to Harley Quinzel once, and it's on a newspaper. Otherwise, she's known as Lee. She only puts on a bit of the makeup near the end of the movie. Like, it's pretty much coming into the third act that she puts on the eyeliner and the red suit. The haircut and stuff, that comes later, but that would be in spoiler territory for what that all is. And she's basically just a fangirl. She's not there as his therapist or anything like that. She's a fangirl, just out and out fangirl. She's obsessed with him. That's basically what her thing is. But the majority of her scenes are singing, either whether it's that talky singing or singing. Again, the songs, they stop the movie, and that's one of the biggest problems with the songs. They don't start off terrible, not like in the sense of, you know what, this doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would. But then it does start to get annoying where you're just like, please stop singing. You know, they don't really do full songs, at least not of known songs. When they're doing songs that seem to be original for the movie, they seem to kind of sing it a bit longer, which is a bit annoying. But the songs do get a bit annoying. So overall, I'd probably give this movie probably about a 4.5 out of 10, to be honest. I think it's literally the performances and the look of the movie. It's still beautifully shot. You know, there's some great shots in there and stuff. But overall, for the actual story, what it does with Arthur and even Harley Quinn and stuff, I think they absolutely dropped the ball and absolutely should not have touched this movie. The fact that now the big question, of course, that people have been seeing is the divisive ending, and is it a big FU to the fans? The ending will destroy people's thoughts about the whole movie, not just this one but the first one. In terms of, is it like a big FU to the fans? Is it calling them incels? Kind of. It's done very strange. It's not out and out saying, oh, you were all incels. But it's hinting at certain aspects, which you would have to see to understand. But over, like, it's not as in your face as they did with the the Riddler in The Batman when it turns out, oh, look, he was a YouTuber thing or TikTok or whatever. We were looking for subs and yeah, they don't do that. But yeah, and the ending, yeah, it was a terrible choice. It's like Alien Romulus. It's like there's enough in there to keep you going. It's not terrible, and then just that ending shits the bed, and this does the exact same thing. So overall, again, I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5 or out of 10. Sorry, that could go up after a second viewing. That could go down after a second viewing. I don't really know. It's the musical does parts like the singing does get a bit old midway in. So overall, I don't think it's absolutely terrible, but it's definitely not a good movie. An absolutely unnecessary sequel that should never have been made. And I think it really shows you, and the reason they did it this way was to say we didn't want to do a sequel, and they shouldn't have. But with that, I will leave this review here, and I will do the full spoiler review that will come out later. So with that, cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.